We're in the Birch Creek Valley on the Dubois Ranger District. This site is referred to as the charcoal kilns. These are charcoal kilns that were used in the late 1800s to create charcoal for a mining operation that was located across the valley. What they were doing is they were creating charcoal that was used in smelters that were located at the mine so that they could melt the ore down, and then the ore was hauled to a railhead 50 or 60 miles away. The timber that was used here to create the charcoal came from the forested land just adjacent to us here. The kilns were built in 1886 by an individual named Warren King, who was from Butte, Montana. So the kilns are about 20 feet in diameter and maybe a little more than 20 foot high. So when the kilns were in operation, with the harvest of the timber, the feeding of the kilns, and the movement of the charcoal from this site to the mine, it employed over 200 men to do that while that process was going on. There were actually doors on here and openings on the top. So they're made from a brick and mortar. If you look at the kiln, you'll see these areas. They're closed up now because we did that in the restoration process. But when they were operating these were actually open. And there are a series of them located clear around the outside of the kiln, and they actually would go clear through the wall. And so these openings were used to control the amount of air flow that would enter the building to control the burn on the wood. So they would close these individual holes given how much air they needed with bricks. So they would just place a brick in here to close these up. Some of them might be open, they might all be closed depending upon where they are in the process, but they would close them with bricks. The idea is that you control this oxygen enough to actually create charcoal rather than just burn the wood up. Basically what we're trying to do is preserve these for the long term, for people to come here and learn history and understand the significance of this site. Folks can look, but we ask folks not to climb on them or that sort of thing so that we can preserve them over the long period. At one time there were 16 of these located on this site. When this was functioning, there were 16 of these kilns, and when you come here now, you'll see 4 or remnants of 4, and a lot of those others, the bricks were hauled away for various reasons. And so we ask folks not to, to not take bricks or anything else from the site. At the turn of the century, mining was a huge thing in this area, in Idaho in general. This place provides folks a view of what that was like in the late 1800s. It's a very unique experience that gives you a view of the mining industry from the late 1800s that you're not going to see anywhere else.